Hi, this is Todd Malakote, the SEO faculty for Market Motive and online marketing consultant at stuntdouble.com. This is the Ninja Link Building Guide in 7 parts. It's become a pretty extravagant series here. We're going to cover a lot of different things. We're going to look at why links are so important, the overall process of link building, some education on link equity and what it is and what it means and how you can evaluate that, some prospecting strategies for finding people and sites that you might want to solicit links from, how to do competitive backlink analysis. We'll look at the approach when you go to ask for links, as well as some relationship building and tools for link building. And that's what we're going to cover in 7 parts here. So we got a pretty comprehensive series on link building. And we're going to start with why links are so important. So in this section, we're going to look at setting expectations with your offsite SEO. When you have a client or your boss, you have to set those expectations and say, this is what you should expect from this program and from these resources that we're putting into it. And then we're going to look at a little analogy of how link building is like fishing. And after viewing this video, you should be able to define link equity and why it's important. You should be able to develop specific strategies for link development, as well as create sample queries for link prospecting. You should be able to choose your own tool set for link development. You really have to have an adequate tool set in today's landscape for doing link development. And you should be able to absolutely write a quality link request and achieve some links when you're out there link building. And this is what you should be able to accomplish through all 7 videos. So take it all in. It's a lot to take in, and we're going to start slow. So why links are important? At a certain point in about 2009, off-page factors were accounting for almost 70% of how search engines were ranking websites. This is a huge portion, often overlooked. On-page optimization is important, but with 70% of the factors being link-based, I think that shows you just how important this section is and how important this strategy is to higher search rankings. So that's fallen a little bit in current times. According to the 2011 survey done by SEO Moz, it's right around 50%. I would still argue it's a little bit higher than that as a whole, but we're incorporating things like social metrics as well, which should be incorporated into your link development strategy anyway. So when we start talking about, oh, are links less important or more important now, they are a little bit less important, but they're still overall such a huge piece of the SEO equation that you can't take them lightly. You have to be focused on your off-page optimization. Vanessa Fox has been quoted as saying, I don't think links will ever go away. They'll continue to be augmented with more data, and the value of links will be less important because there's all these other signals in the mix. So that's saying, you know, Google's going to use social metrics to validate the fact that links, that the site deserves links. And when they do that, they're going to look at all the different social metrics and say, does this site deserve to have all these links, or are they artificially inflating their page rank or their link equity in some way? And that's what they're using social for. Miley Oy has been quoted saying it's easier to reliably detect social spam than link spam. Link spam's hard to detect, and that's why they're moving away from that, or actually using social metrics to validate whether a link is worthwhile or not. That way you can't just have a footer link on the bottom of some high-profile website that never gets a click-through and get all of your link equity through that and get rankings through that. It was too easy to buy links for a long time, so Google needed validation through social metrics on link equity. Now that doesn't mean social is more important than links. It's just a tool in the tool set to acquire links. It's another tool to do outreach. Every keyword result is this raging battle. If we're trying to rank for SEO certification at Market Motive, we need to know what we're up against. We're up against an exactmatch.org. We're up against SEOconsultants.com and talking about SEO certification. And we're up against some pretty hefty link equity. You can see SEO Consultants, Edward's doing a great job over there and has all kinds of links, 4,000 unique linking domains. That's going to be pretty tough to beat. So we have to know that going in, that we're going to have to come up with this number of links and set that expectation. So how do we prepare for this battle? Well, we need to be able to track what we're doing with link development. We need to be able to set goals. We need some key performance indicators, and we need to do some keyword opposition to benefit analysis to set the expectations for this battle in the search results. So when we go to set expectations, this is a good example. This CEO comes to you and says, we just spent $1 million on creating an amazingly beautiful website, and now we're ready to optimize it for SEO. We didn't actually keep much budget around for this, but we know that you're a guru and you can rank us #1 for web hosting. Some people would take this job on. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, and you shouldn't either. And the reason is it's nearly impossible to rank for web hosting. It's such a competitive niche that you're going to have $1 million budgets in order to really go after that phrase and create the type of content and the type of link assets that you're going to need to get the links to rank for that. So this is the difference between SEO con artists and real deal SEOs, is being able to look at the search results and have those strong opposition analysis skills, saying, hey, you know, there's 4,000, this guy's have 4,000 links and we have 400. It's going to take us a while to get there, and you're going to need to set those realistic expectations, and that only comes from experience and understanding these tools and understanding link equity and having that education process of link equity funnel down through the entire corporation. Your boss really has to understand link equity, and in order to set this expectation, in order to educate your boss, you need to start slow. In order to do this, I like to tell the story of funding your site's link equity. It's just like funding a company and going and getting startup capital and borrowing money. You really need to have something to fund your site's link equity. In order to do that, you need to explain to your partner, to your boss, whomever, that the more links we get, the higher our rankings are going to be. And it's not just quantity, it's quality as well. And this can be sometimes a difficult concept for those who have never heard of this before. So I like to try to use these 3 slides. Global link popularity is your firepower for your rankings. Without link popularity, you're not going to rank for a whole lot. These links equal rankings. Rankings is where you get those conversions, and conversions is where you're going to start to make your money. And links cost money. And you got to be able to convince that higher up or that partner that I can acquire these links and I know how to get them, and I know that they cost money. So how you fund this, how you can be competitive, you can go out and just straight up buy links. It's not something Google looks at kindly. They don't like that. There's a lot of risk involved. There's plenty of sites in the lead generation space that have done this for years and had a lot of success with it. You can be more creative and do link baiting, which we'll look at a little bit later. You can do development and say, you know what, we're going to build the best product, and people are going to link to us naturally. Now this is what Google likes to see most, is kind of that creativity and development, and there's much less risk in that, but it also takes a really good team, which also costs money and is ultimately going to cost you for those links in the long run. So when we're setting the expectations of funding your site's link equity, you need to look at high benefit terms, and you need to know that if you're looking at higher benefit terms, things that have a higher cost per click, there's going to be higher competition. You're probably not going to want to try to rank for colleges or online colleges because it's going to be very, very aggressive. You're going to want to try to rank for online nursing degree college programs in Michigan because that's the reality. The long tail is the reality. The opportunity is kind of in that chunky middle, and when you get into the head, it's just insanity and stupidity. If you're trying to rank for college, you're not taking the right approach to your link building. And you have to know what your keyword strategy is before you go into your link building campaign. Otherwise, you're just going to tread water and never really get anywhere. The way that you set those keyword expectations and your keyword strategy is through what I call COB analysis. And the essence of it is saying, what's the opposition, how strong is the search engine result position competition, and what's the benefit? If we actually achieve this ranking, how is it going to benefit us? So we need to know this COB analysis going in, and you need to set expectations going in. So now the fun part. Let's look at how link building is like fishing. Well, you really have to understand the weather and the climate. You can't go into link building at this point and say, hey, we need a bunch of reciprocal links. We need to go out there and spam some forums and do a bunch of directory listings, because that stuff just really doesn't work anymore. It's old news. There's some small benefit to it, but overall, it's not the current climate. The current climate is building great link bait, building widgets, building infographics, and promoting those through social media. This is the climate that you need to have in order to go out and be successful with link building. And obviously with fishing, you don't want to go out when it looks like that lightning there. You also need to have reliable hooks and great bait when you're out there link building or fishing. When you're fishing, you're not going to have much luck with dead bait. Live bait's always going to be better. Just like with link building, great bait is always going to be better. You have to have different kind of hooks that we'll talk about in link baiting. The resource hook, the controversy hook, the video hook. There's plenty of different hooks to use when you're creating link bait. And without that, without something to do outreach on, without linkable assets, you're just really going to have to beg for links, which doesn't really work anymore. You have to have something to offer in return to the webmasters that you're asking for a link. It takes a great team to do link building or to go fishing. Unless you're bass fishing by yourself, you're going to need a whole bunch of people. Somebody to take care of bait, somebody to hook the fish, somebody to throw the anchor. You need all these things in one place, and everybody's got to be on the same page and communicating. When you're link building, everybody has to be working together. Everybody has to be using the same systems. Everybody has to be consistent in their message and what they're asking for. So you can't be working against each other either on the fishing boat or when you're asking for links. And if you want quality fish or quality links, it's going to take some time and experience. You're going to have to put hours in on the water or on the computer, and you're not going to get the big fish or the big links without a lot of time doing it. It can be frustrating, but it's also very worth it when you get those trophy catches. So experience is obviously the best teacher, and I just kind of like this little cartoon here, so I bought it and threw it in. So your strategy is going to evolve with the more experience you have. Once you know what links are worth, how to get them, how to approach, then you're going to have a much better time, and the time spent on link building is going to be more productive, and you're going to achieve more of those links that you're looking for. So through this analogy of how link building is like fishing, and through the help of a former wonderful student, Ned Kumar, I've come up with the PESCAR strategy. And the PESCAR strategy includes why fishing is like link building, and also a handy acronym for remembering each of the sections in this video. And that acronym is the process strategy, equity education, site prospecting strategy, competitive backlink analysis, approach assessment, and relationship building and tools. And these are all the things you're going to need for a successful SEO campaign, or at least a successful outreach and link building campaign. After you get through this, you'll remember exactly why link building is like fishing. Understand why links are important, how to set those expectations, how to fund your site's link equity, and most importantly, how link building is like fishing. Thank you for joining me in part 1 of this video series, and I hope you'll join me for the rest of this wonderful series. Thank you.